everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today's reading will be about what the divine wants twin flames to know. So basically, these readings are for people who are serious about getting into twin flame union. It's also for people who are serious about bettering themselves and for evolving and getting out of this matrix. You don't have to have a twin flame to do this. The twin flame is just one way of getting there. But yeah, so this is a reading for those of you who are interested in getting into physical twin flame union, as well as those, or both, just looking to become, your highest version of yourself. All right, so let's start with the tarot cards. So you got the Seer of Swords, you got the Ace of Wands reversed, and you got the Three of Pentacles upright. Okay, so the Seer of Swords, she is about speaking her truth, having new ideas, seeking. Well, it's upright, so it's almost like she has clarity. She knows the truth, so she's ready to speak her truth, okay? And the Ace of Wands is about, having passion and just like having like new positivity, like staying, optimistic. But anyway, it's reversed. So they're asking you to stay optimistic about this, okay? So it looks like some of you might be losing a little ground on that. So they're asking you to stay passionate, stay optimistic, and to keep working. This is a collaboration between you and your twin flame. This is a collaboration. Okay, for those of you not in a twin flame situation, there is something you're trying to master, okay? Or maybe you're in collaboration with a friend or a coworker or a soulmate, okay? But those of you with twin flames, you are in collaboration on this mission, okay? You are here to speak your truth. You are here to see the clarity in the situation, and you are here to, be a way shower. So see how she's kind of looking out with her sword. It's like she knows, and this is upright. So I know you all know. You all have clarity already. You already know the truth in the situation. Okay, now it's time to speak your truth. Okay, and continue to collaborate. All right, you're collaborating with, even if you're not in physical twin flame union, you are in collaboration. You are working on something, your mission with your twin flame, and they're asking you to stay optimistic and passionate about this mission. All right, you also got, I don't know how to pronounce it, Sekhmet, the red lady. It says, I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Okay, so a little bit of a theme here. Okay, so she's all about justice. She's all about fighting for what is right. So instead of being passive aggressive, Sekhmet's all about, expressing her anger. So, how the divine feminine usually doesn't feel comfortable about expressing anger, not very comfortable with like showing like, and it's true. I mean, we all don't want to, cross people's boundaries, but then we don't want others to cross our boundaries. And so what we're trying to do is, say, in whatever situation you're in, to be like, don't cross my boundaries. These are my boundaries, and not be like passive aggressive about it, but just to whoever is crossing your boundaries, just be kind of upfront. You don't have to be mean about it. You could be nice about it, but at the same time, instead of being passive aggressive, it's okay to be in your strength. It's okay to be in your anger and give voice to it. Not like you don't have to like put anyone down or make anyone feel belittled. It's more like just being in your power and just setting your boundaries, and again, not being passive aggressive, just saying, hey, these are my boundaries and I don't like it when they're crossed. Okay, and this is somebody who seeks justice. This is somebody who will do what's right. If there's a situation in society where justice needs to be served, she is right there speaking her truth. Okay, so that's what you're doing. You're speaking your truth. You're saying that this is not okay, and you're being passionate about it. It's something you're passionate about. So maybe for some of you, maybe there's something you're passionate about. Maybe you see something, maybe you're some kind of activist, or maybe there's something that you feel that needs to be changed, and they're saying you have the power, you have the strength to do that, and to not allow people to cross your boundaries. All right, the next card you got, I feel like we get this type of card in every reading we have, the Thunderbolt. So this would be the traditional Tower card. So that means there is definitely a rebirth, some kind of clearing going on, shedding the old skin, so to birth a new you. And that's what these readings are all about, right? These readings are all about a better version of ourselves. And so we are shedding and leaving behind everything that we knew. We are deprogramming ourselves. We are, rewiring our brains, and the tower is falling, and most people are acting like this, right? Most people are, you know, they're in panic over what is happening. It's so funny. So as I'm looking in the video screen, I see now that it's actually like a person. I didn't even notice that before. Okay, so it's like there's this person like who's meditating, and so this is you, right? So here's you like being still, and meanwhile all this chaos is going on around you. People are falling, there's like thunderbolts going all around, people are panicking, and there's you sitting there peacefully, just shedding your skin and saying, oh, this is good, this is an awakening, this is what needs to happen. Okay, all right. The next card you got is opposition. And so, in a way, it's kind of saying the same thing where you are adjusting yourself. Okay, you're adjusting. So, like, an opposition of life is happening, or you're in opposition of the old way of doing things, and you're kind of standing up for yourself, saying that's, maybe it has something to do with this, right? Maybe you're in opposition of like a way of life that no longer serves you or serves people or is crossing your boundaries, and you're in opposition, you're kind of standing in your strength. Or this is you saying, this is something where I need to adjust my, there's a new world, a new life, a new way of being, and I'm adjusting to the new way of life. I'm adjusting to the new energies. I'm adjusting to the higher vibrations, my ascension symptoms, whatever that has to do with ascension. You are adjusting. You are changing with the times, and you are in opposition of the old. While everyone else is kind of fighting it and in panic about it, you are embracing it. All right. All right, the next card you got is, oh, so this has to do with, well, to see if you're imbalanced in any kind of way. And this is for some of you, not all of you. Some of you might be imbalanced in this way, and some of you might not be. So some of you are feeling a little depressed. It makes sense, right? I mean, obviously there's some stuff going on, and with the virus, and some of you might be feeling a little depressed. It maybe has nothing to do with your divine masculine. But if you are depressed over the fact that you're not in union, what that's doing is it is taking you out of balance on your divine masculine side. If you're feeling depressed or confused, or if you feel like fleeing the situation, or if you're freezing, you just don't want to be in the situation anymore. You're like, enough is enough. I want to get out. What you're doing is you're putting yourself out of balance, and you're causing your own divine masculine side of you to become hopeless, not awake, stagnant, and stuck. Okay? So, what you need to do is instead be more in patience, receptivity, and nurturing. Nurturing towards yourself first, and then nurturing energies towards your twin flame and others. And then you also got nurturing, which is exactly what so some of you are actually being very nurturing at this time, which makes sense. There's a lot of people who are not feeling secure. They are in fear. And so it looks like a lot of you are being nurturing towards people who are going through this. Okay. And for those of you who watch this video down the line, like I know these videos are up for years, maybe there's something else going on at this time that's causing, an upset, or, life is always changing, so just let it fit the way whatever's working, right, whatever's going on in your life right now. There is no such thing as time, by the way. And these videos when you click on them, it's the right time for you. I don't know why the divine told me to tell you that. Okay, so here is another. This is again to let you know if you're out of balance or not. So I just kind of pulled a card of what your divine masculine might say to you right now. It says, I hate myself for how I treated you. Please know how deep my love for you really is. So again, your divine masculine says, I hate myself for how I treated you. Please know how deep my love for you really is. And I think a lot of masculines are going through that right now, where their love is so deep for you, but they just do not like the way they're kind of stuck. So that's another reason why, like, maybe if you are feeling a bit depressed, or if you're feeling like fleeing or freezing with the situation, or you're confused, it's making them feel stuck. They're kind of stuck in the past, and they're not feeling like they don't like they don't like the way things ended. They're not happy with, but here's the thing with your twin flame is that it is you in another body. I explained this in my last video if you want to watch the last video I did on this series, but basically they are you in another body. You share the same soul. They have no choice but to react to you or mirror back to you how you feel about yourself. Okay. And so, or whatever is imbalanced in you, they have no choice but to be under a spell. I know that sounds weird, but that's how that's how they like to put it. They say your divine is under a spell of whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling, like you're in the driver's seat. I know that sounds weird, but the divine feminine is in the driver's seat. The reason why the divine feminine is in the driver's seat is because because 40% of divine feminine are male, by the way. 60% are female is what they're telling me. But anyway, because the female is all about the creativity, we're the spark, okay? And then the divine male is all about the doing, the action, the actual creation, but we're the creative spark. And so because we have to go first, okay? It's translated as like it's just like a spark of creativity, and then once we create it, then the divine masculine comes in, and they are the ones that are taking action. They're manifesting. They are doing it. Whereas the female part is allowing it. They are like love, like we're the love, we're the unconditional love. We're the flow. We're translated through the heart. Anyway, I hope I'm not confusing you. But anyway, it starts with the divine feminine, and then the divine masculine side is under a spell. Again, it has nothing to do with gender. This is not male or female. This is to do with divine feminine. So if you relate to the divine feminine, you're the ones that are awakening first. And as a divine femme, which are a lot of men, okay, they're the ones that have to balance themselves out first, and then your counterpart is under a spell, and they can only balance out after you balance out. They literally can only mirror how you're doing. Okay, it's like you're in the driver's seat. You signed up for this role, the divine feminine, divine masculine. Okay. If you want life coaching on that, I go way more into depth about that. You can email me. Okay, the next card you got is Hand of Cards. It says take a chance, risk. Being strategic, options, not showing your hand, gambling, taking a gamble. Yep, so they're asking you to take a chance on this, to take a risk, be strategic. Again, balance out your own divine feminine, divine masculine energies, and that will manifest in the 3D. Okay, this is also knowing your boundaries. Okay, this is not allowing people to cross your boundaries. That's not what this is about. But it's doing it in a loving way, and loving yourself, and not expecting the other, your divine counterpart, to give you love that you don't have, to show you love or to show you affection that you don't already give to yourself. You're already giving yourself affection. You're already putting yourself on a pedestal. You're already nurturing yourself. You don't need others to do that for you. That's not what this relationship's about. This is about unconditional love, and they're asking you to take this chance. They're asking you to take a risk. Obviously, the not showing hand, it would probably be both of you not showing your hand to either one of you. It sounds like if you're in separation. All right. The next card you got is get some rest. Okay, so maybe some of you have been working tirelessly, which this is upright. So it looks like some of you are working very hard on something. There's some kind of mission that you're working on. Maybe you are an activist. Maybe there is some kind of justice that you're working towards. Maybe it has to do with your job, or just something to do with politics, or something to do with, like my daughter's very much into sustainability, whatever it is that you are trying to change for the better in this world, okay? And they're asking you also, though, to get some rest. Because you guys are very much the way showers. It could be exhausting. Okay, so then you have azurite. It says deep emotional healing. Your heart is ready to heal from past experiences, and you are willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. All right, so some of you may need to be doing some deep emotional healing. If you look at my videos, I have a bunch of how to magnetize your twin flame in many different like titles, but it all has the same picture of somebody that kind of looks like this, but in purple. They're kind of meditating, but it's in purple. And I do I cleanse the chakras, and I try to make it as pleasant by doing it as ASMR. Hopefully it gives like the head tingles, and it's very relaxing. That'll also help you, get some rest. If you're into ASMR, it's very, very relaxing. I really enjoy it. The deep emotional healing can also be done through Reiki. It can be done through the emotion code. It can be done through Hertz music, massage. There's many different types of energy work out there. I just happen to do the pranic healing through cleansing the chakras. Anyway, that will help purge trapped emotions that are stuck inside of you that may have, it's so funny how we go through traumas in the past, and we think that once we get over it, that the emotions leave our body, but it doesn't. It gets trapped, which I didn't know until I figured out. It was one of the things I figured it out last October. And they get trapped, and there's some ways to like untrap it by, again, cleansing out your chakras, doing energy work. The emotion code is something I recommend on YouTube, and you just untrap your emotion. It's really not that hard. And it also helps your ancestors, because a lot of the emotions are trapped by your ancestors, and because we are all one, you're also purging for the collective, okay? And then it says you're willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. Okay, so yeah, so just taking the time to devote time. I even do it on a daily basis. No, I can't say daily basis, but especially around the full moon, I have to do it daily. Around the new moon, I don't know if it's as effective, the purging, but the reason why I say daily is that I'm always listening to some kind of Hertz music while I'm working, while I'm sleeping, and then I'll do the emotion code, and I'll cleanse my own chakras, and I'll, whatever I do, like ASMR, Reiki, whatever I need to do. Okay, the next card you got. So here's an affirmation for the week. It says, I invoke fire dragons to clear my path to ascension. I invoke fire dragons to clear my path to ascension. Okay, so the dragons are fourth dimensional elementals. They can access and transmute heavy vibrations that angels cannot reach. Archangel Gabriel oversees Thor and his fire dragons. You are asked to send out fire dragons supervised by Gabriel to consume negativity in places and auras. Then ask Gabriel's angels to replace the lower energies with a shimmering diamond of pure light. Call on a fire dragon to transmute any stuck energy in your own aura and to light you up at a higher frequency that you can radiate enthusiasm and joy. So that's interesting. I've never gotten this card before. And so you're asking Archangel Gabriel to help you call upon fire dragons. And as you are walking, talking, just doing your own thing, you're consuming negativity wherever it is you live. You're almost like a lighthouse. You are put there for a reason to show your light. And in the meantime, you are consuming negativity, and now you need to purge that. So kind of like what we were just talking about, right? With the deep emotional healing, right? This is your job. This is one of your missions. You came here to consume and to transmute other people's negativity, lower vibrational frequencies. That is one of your main missions in life. And now they're asking you to call upon the shimmering diamond of pure light to clean out these lower energies. Well, so they even gave you yet another channel to help purge the negative energies. I didn't even know about that one. Okay, the next card you got is when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. That's beautiful. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through lens of love. I think that's very true. When you're focusing on your own inner light and your own love, this is how I up my own vibrations, is that I always talk about you know, in the like in the morning, I'll just say, oh, I love Mary Beth. I love Mary Beth. And I focus on my own inner light, and then I visualize my inner light expanding all around everywhere, all around the building, around my house or the world. I sometimes just put the like earth inside my heart is what I visualize. Anyway, then you start seeing the world through the lens of love because you have that feeling of oneness. All right, and then another, so this is a modality that I pulled a card. It says 417 hertz, undoing situations, change, facilitating change. So for those of you who enjoy listening to Hertz music, 417 is very good for change and undoing. So maybe there was again pain. Maybe it has to do with what's going on with the pandemonium at this time, but also it could do with your twin flame situation. And the 417 hertz will help change and facilitate change and undo the negativity of that situation. Just so listen to that maybe at work or at night. It's very soothing and it will do some deep emotional healing. Okay. All right. The next card you got is clear yourself. I see a theme here. This is all about energy with this pile. Okay. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Again, you are absorbing these toxic energies for a reason. So you might be feeling a bit heavy. Maybe that's why they're telling you that you need to get some rest because you're doing a lot of work. You don't even know it. Like you're just walking around doing your own thing, but you are like a magnet or a vacuum, and you're helping to clear the collective by taking on other people's toxic lower vibrations and then transmuting it. Of course, one way again is through the fire dragons, cleansing your chakras, Reiki, the emotion code, the 417 hertz. Okay? Because this is why you came down here and you're really making a huge difference. It says here, you may be more in your divine masculine and still working on being in your divine feminine and vice versa. Your divine masculine is being patient and you are more forward. It's so funny that this card popped up because I believe I just said that. I don't know if it was this video or the last video because I do like a bunch of videos in one day, and I just said that. Maybe it was today. Maybe it was this video. But anyway, I was just saying that, right? I was just saying that many of us, maybe it was the last video, I can't remember. Anyway, many of us are in our divine masculine energies where we are being very forward going. We are assertive. We are giving, but yet we're not in our divine feminine where we're being patient, receptive, and nurturing. Maybe we're being focused, we're being committed, methodical, and direct, which is good, by the way. You're supposed to be doing all those things. You're supposed to be in your divine masculine. But then maybe we're not being in our own intuition instead of we're in our minds and we're overthinking. We're not feeling compassionate. We're not being introspective. Focusing on self is kind of more of a divine masculine thing, but I think a lot of divine feminines tend to focus on others. That's just, how we are. But anyway, it is interesting how that's what they're saying is that we might be a little bit more in our divine masculines right now, which makes sense because that's what society values, and we're trying to balance that out. We're trying very hard in society, and maybe this is what this has to do with the red lady. The divine feminine has been suppressed. And the divine feminine, her qualities have been severely suppressed and not very, like socially constructed, not to be very valued. Okay, even like female jobs have been socially constructed to not be very valued. And so, that's why we're valuing the divine masculine sides of us. Like, we're all, let's like move forward, let's be focused, let's be forward going, let's be assertive, that type of thing. And what was feminine, divine feminine, wasn't at all at the, it's changing now, obviously. It's really changing now. But for a long time, intuition wasn't valued. It wasn't, I even went to a meetup not too long ago where we were supposed to talk intuition, and it turned into there's no such thing as intuition. That's what the meetup turned into, the discussion. I was kind of shocked by it. I'm like, what do you mean there's no such thing as, like, people just didn't believe in it. So this hasn't been valued in our society. So we need to get back into that. We need to get back into our divine feminine. Our divine feminine side of us is screaming to be valued again. And that is what we have to be in our intuition. No more using our brains and overthinking or being needy or being a martyr. It's all about using our intuition, already knowing deep inside of us what we need to do, and trusting our intuition. Being compassionate with ourselves and others, contemplating and having introspection with ourselves, like really going within, meditating, again, being introspective, having patience, knowing something's coming without question, being receptive and open to it, not like saying, like every day flip-flopping, no, I don't want it, yes, I want it, no, I don't. Being receptive and open to it, and then being nurturing to ourselves. Like, how many people nurture themselves? How many people, just like lighting a candle, just lighting this candle, like, can be nurturing to yourself. Doing like an oil diffuser, doing like the ASMR. How many people allow themselves to sit there and do ASMR, or energy work? How many people allow themselves to, receive, because they're so busy giving, they're so busy forward going, so busy being assertive and focused and committed to something, And so that's what we're doing. And so she's all about, no, we need this to be balanced. The divine feminine, our boundaries have been crossed enough. Like, we've been suppressed for long enough. It's time that we come out and, really be the divine feminine now. Be in our divine feminine and be proud of it. And who cares if society doesn't value it? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, and maybe some societies do. Maybe it depends on what country you live in. Maybe some countries, the divine feminine is extremely valued. Where I happen to live, it's not. I'm in the United States. It's not so much here. Okay? And we're saying enough is enough. Divine feminine is powerful. Divine feminine is the creator. We're the spark. Okay? We're the spark in this whole, like, magical, like, life, like divine feminine. We start the creativity, and then the divine masculine follows in our footsteps. And we've had it backwards this whole time. We've all went backwards in it. Okay? And again, it has nothing to do with male or female. Male or female have nothing to do with it. There are people out there who don't even identify as male or as female, because it's not needed. We all have a divine feminine, divine masculine sides of us. It's just that we weren't valuing what the divine feminine had to offer. We were only valuing what the divine masculine had to offer. And that now has to be integrated. It has to be balanced. So that's what that card means. All right, the next card you got is Ariel. It says, new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. Yep, so you're having new spiritual experiences. I'm sure you are. Maybe you're having dreams, maybe just doing readings like this. Maybe you're just, I don't know, seeing like feathers wherever you go, or maybe you're seeing signs and synchronicities, maybe there's stuff on the clock. and you're having all these spiritual experiences that you never even experienced before. And it's making you change the way you view the world and yourself. And this is going to help you allow your spiritual gifts to open. And again, one of your spiritual gifts is being the divine feminine. That is your spiritual gift. And you're a way shower, and you're here to teach that. All right. The next card you got is what is being trained. It says the connections and pathways in our brains change over the course of our lives based on how we think, what we do, and where we are. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. In other words, our minds and our brains are constantly being trained. When you cultivate awareness, you can make a choice to have more control over what qualities you develop in yourself. Knowledge. Knowing this, what do you want to train your mind in right now? Okay, so yeah, so we're training our minds, we're deprogramming ourselves. Okay, something maybe just what I just talked about, just training our minds to be quiet so that we use our intuition. All right, cultivating the awareness of what our brains are. Sometimes our ego, and I get it, our egos are here to protect us. Our egos are all about, hey, don't you remember the trauma you had, or do you remember how that person hurt you? So like your ego might look at your twin flame and say, "Oh hell no, don't you remember how they made you feel?" And so you have to like retrain your brain to be quiet, because you have to go within to your intuition and your heart. Okay? It's like we're not about the ego anymore. And now, and I know a lot of people say this as an acronym, edging God out, the ego edging God out. So we don't, so every time our ego speaks, we're edging God out. We're edging out our own spark of the divine. Every time we do that, like pretending we're in separation, the ego is the one that keeps telling us we're in separation when we're not. We're not in separation. And so it's just training our minds to remember. It's so hard, I know. It's so hard to remember that we are all one. All right, the next card we got is share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. I think a lot of this, we're kind of like seeing a theme here. So Seer of Swords, again, it's about sharing your voice, communication, speaking your truth, come out of the cave. Okay, it's about not being afraid. It's about being strong. It's about justice and boundaries, and it's okay if you don't have to be passive aggressive. It's okay to show that you're, again, not belittling someone, but just saying, hey, enough is enough. This made me angry. I'm not okay with it. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Whatever it is, maybe it's this opposition, maybe there's something that you're opposing right now. There's something inside of you that says, hey, the way this is going is not okay, and it needs to be changed. Okay, and so they're asking you to share your voice. All right, next card you got is let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Yes, so especially with the twin flames, this is very true. There is no claiming. No one owns anyone. No one possesses anyone. There's always closeness. Whether you're together, I don't know if you noticed, whether you're together or not, there's always closeness. You're always feeling their feelings. You're always, you just, there's so many, like you're thinking their thoughts. It's very interesting. But giving each other space is very important in the twin flame union. And, it's just allowing them to be who they need to be and giving to yourself. And I know this sounds weird, but the divine feminine is more about receiving, and the divine masculine is more about giving. And I even noticed that in my own twin flame physical union, where whenever I offered to give something, my divine masculine always said, no, I will give that to you. Like no matter what it was, I'm like, oh, Lo, let me do this no, I'm going to do this. And it's almost like the divine masculine is the giver and the divine feminine is the receiver, and you're to be open to receiving from your divine masculine. It's very interesting dynamic. But again, we're so stuck in our own divine masculines that we're constantly trying to give, and not receive, and not even nurture ourselves. All right. And then the last card you got is unconditional joy. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me appreciate everything that makes me happy right now. So, yes, unconditional joy is seeing joy in the little things. Having unconditional joy, meaning, see, he's just kind of holding on to his dog, just kind of looking at his dog, just kind of he's in joy in the he's not thinking about the future, he's not thinking about the past. He's just saying, well, what a joyful moment, and being in the joy in whatever it is that they're doing at this time and really enjoying it and being in the moment and not worrying about, again, whatever. And there's no such thing as time, because everything's happening at the same time anyway. And I know I've said this before in other videos, but whatever you're thinking about today is what you're manifesting in the future. Okay, just remember, whatever you're thinking about today is what you're manifesting in the future. All right, well, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. If you're interested in a private reading, please email me. I will give you that information over email. Also, if you're interested in life coaching, you can email me. Otherwise, thank you again for clicking on my channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.